Hey guys, Ruthless here. We're back for the walkthrough. We just finished Act 1 killing Mervale, so we're gonna get started at the beginning of Act 2. So we're just gonna run to town right now. And I actually forgot to pick up a gem that I will need. So we're actually gonna go back to Act 1 once we get to town. And we're gonna pick up the Wintertide brand gem. So that's going to be one of our skills that we're going to be using probably until we're level 28, I would say. So here we are back in town. I want to sell all this junk.
What trouble?
It was pretty nice. We found a couple uniques off the boss, but we're not going to find any use for it since we have our links in our gloves. So we're just going to sell all of that, sell that. We might need the heavy belt if we need strength. So we're just going to go back to Act 1. Talk to Nessa. And we're going to pick up Wintertide brand. So this is going to be one of the cold skills that we will be using. I can put my flame dash set up in the boots. So at the start of Act 2, we want to start with the Den quest. We want to have an extra Quicksilver flask. So it's in Old Fields, and we're going to be looking for the Den. It's just a side area, so it's going to show up as orange. And we're actually going to be swapping from this fire build to cold build once we hit level 16. Pick up this lightning shrine. Kill these blue mobs. Augment and a rare item. Sell those later. So here's the den here. And the exit is right over there. So we're just going to make a portal. That's actually my last portal, so I might need some extra ones. We're going to make the portal, go to Crossroads, hit the waypoint, go back to town, and then go back through our portal. It's just up here. So we're going to go back to town, so we have the progress of the waypoint. We're going to take our portal we just made and head to the den. I kind of wanted that, the blue item. We don't even have Dex to use it. So we're going to look for the beast in here. And then we'll be able to pick up a second Quicksilver flask, which should make things a lot quicker.
When I'm ready and not
Kill
before.
him. Got the portal scroll. We're just gonna log out here to save on portal. And we're gonna talk to Yina and pick up our Quicksilver flask. Also gonna sell all this junk. We are gonna need some alterations, so I'm gonna ID some of these to get alteration shards. Sometimes, if an item has 6 mods, it's actually gonna sell for an augmentation orb, which is okay. So we got cast speed on that, which is kind of nice. We're a bit low on ID scrolls, so I'm just gonna sell some of these transmute shards. And next part, we're gonna be going to the Crossroads waypoint, and we're gonna be going top left to Chamber of Sins. We're gonna drop our low sapphire ring, and we're gonna equip topaz ring for extra lightning resist, which will be helpful in this next area. So now that we have 2 Quicksilver flasks, we want to make sure that we're not spamming both of them at the same time, because that will actually waste them pretty quickly. So we just want to use one at a time while the other one is still recharging. So we actually got a blue item that we can put on our offhand. So we can level up some blue gems if we need to. So we're actually going to level this Frostblink up. Waypoint is over here. So once we have the waypoint here, the next zone should be opposite of the waypoint. So it should be down here, if I'm correct. Yeah. So this is level 2. We've got a lot of scepters here. Could be good. We could find like a +1 cold scepter, which is actually pretty good. So we're in Chamber of Sins level 2. We're going to look for the trial. I think this will be the second trial that we've done so far. We're going to look for the trial. And then we're going to go to the boss of this zone. So as you can see, a lot of lightning damage in this zone. So you want to be careful. Make sure you have a topaz ring. You can check the vendor as well. Or do the vendor recipe for the iron ring and a green gem. Alchemy is nice. Jade amulet, maybe. So we got that. Portal scroll. Superior gem. So with superior gems, if you actually get a total amount of 40%, you can actually vendor them for a GCP. And that'll increase the quality of any gem that you want. Or you can actually do another recipe. If you have a level 20 gem, you can vendor it with the GCP. And you can get a 20 quality level 1 gem of the same one that you vendored. We're actually going to kill this essence. Looks a bit scary. Extra lightning damage, exposure, and extra chaos damage. But it's going to give us a spell damage craft on a white item. So it's going to turn a white item into free spell damage roll, which is actually pretty good. So I might actually use that on a wand that I might get. Leather belt here, probably better than what I have. So I'll equip that. Extra life is nice. And I actually have a cold res essence that I can use on my belt. So I'll just do that. So it's going to give automatic 6 to 11 cold resistance plus other modifiers. So we're just going to use that. And we got some extra lightning resist and some life regen. Pretty good. So we actually have a bunch of skill points here. We're going to use those. We're going to finish this life wheel, pick up the cool prep, and we're actually going to go for the life mastery plus 50 life. So that's going to be pretty nice. And we're going to start heading this way for now. If we do need some extra stats, we'll go for this other area. So this is the boss here, Fidelitas. She does like a lightning strike. So all you have to do is pretty much just run around her. Make sure she's not facing you when she's doing her attack. And just stay at a distance and kill her pretty easily. So we got the Baleful gem. We're just going to log out here and pick up a couple of gems that we'll be using. So you need level 16 to use these gems. So we're going to pick up Cold Snap. And so we got Cold Snap. We're also going to pick up Skitter Bots. So these are costing Alteration Orbs. So if you were selling ID'd items, they will give you, that's a really nice item. They will give you Alteration Shards, which turn into Alteration Orbs. So I'm going to vendor those. I definitely want to use this item. So I'm going to be using Scepters. If I was using wands, this wand would be good too. But this one's good. It has added lightning to spells and spell damage, so that's pretty strong. So I actually need dex to use these gems. So that's kind of unfortunate. And also pick up Herald of Thunder. So from here we have some of our gems. We're just going to equip those. We're going to wait till we get some more decks before we can use those. And we're going to continue to the left side. So we killed Fidelitas. We got our level 16 gems. Now we're going to go to the Weaver boss. And you want to make sure you pick up your quest items along the way. So we got the Baleful gem from killing Fidelitas. If you don't have those, then we can't actually progress. So we're going to equip our Herald of Thunder right now. So we actually need Dex. And I sold a Dex amulet, unfortunately. Not sure if I have a Frost Bomb. Should. There's an extra Quicksilver Blast. That's superior. So I can actually swap that out for the other one that I have. I can actually throw a Transmute on it as well to see if I can get a good mod. +1 max charges, that's pretty good. So I can just hold on to the other one. There's actually a movement speed recipe that you can use. This essence gives us a Contempt essence, which is like flat fizz on weapons or fizz leech. Not really useful for a caster, so I'm just gonna skip that. So we're gonna hit to the waypoint here. And one thing to keep in mind is the boss is always going to be opposite side of the waypoint on the road. So the waypoint is on the right side, so the boss is going to be on the left side of this road. So I would have actually swapped to gold right now, but I didn't get enough dex to use some of these skills. So I'll just keep the fire build right now. Should be fine. We're gonna put the flame wall back on. So we're just looking for the boss room here. And this boss actually has 2 phases once we get her down to half HP. So since we're low on dex, we're just going to go for this node here, Practical Application. It'll give us 20 dex and a lot of extra resist as well. So you want to be careful here. The boss does a lot of damage. Just run around. Try not to get hit. Running in circles is probably the best option for some of these bosses. Or you can just keep an eye on what movements they're doing, what type of attacks they're doing. So, pretty simple to get her down here. So we want to make sure we pick up the spike. So that's one of the quest items that we will need. So we already have the western waypoint, so we're just going to log and pick up some of our level 18 support gems. But they do cost alterations, so you want to try to sell some of your rare items to get more alterations. So that's what we're going to do here. I only have 1 alteration so far, so I can only buy 1 gem. So we're actually gonna go with controlled destruction, and that's gonna be like our main setup for our cold snap. And we're also gonna pick up a cruelty.
Be kind if you can.
So we're done with the two main quest lines, and we also have to do the bandits. But we're just gonna go down here to this area, the Fell Shrine Ruins, and we're gonna head to the crypt and pick up our third trial. It would be our third trial so far. So once I level up here, I will be swapping to cold damage skills. Transmute, that's nice. I do have pretty bad life pots right now. If I do have extra wisdom scrolls, it is a good idea to upgrade your life flasks. Because as you get more life, the regen is not going to be as effective at higher levels. You kind of have to upgrade your life flasks as you go. So we're looking for the trial here. There's also another quest on level 2 that we can do if we need extra respect points. But we'll just skip that for now. There's a ghosted mob. Kind of scary. But they'll probably drop a lot of rare items, which is what we kind of need right now. So we can get more alterations. More alterations so we can buy more port gems for our main skills. He actually dropped a Jade Amulet, that's nice. So we pick up the trial. We're not going to go for level 2 and respect quests for now. We might come back and do that at a later time if we need more respect points. So we have a... and that breaks everything. So we got the extra skill point, so we'll just get the extra strength and dex from here. And we should be able to use our other skills. Sell some rare items. That's actually a pretty nice wand. Might actually use that. It actually has cool dot multiplier, which is pretty nice. So I kind of want to get another alteration from here, so I'll sell that. Can I get... maybe I'll pick up another wand here. So this quartz wand gives us flat damage. Yeah, the cooldown multiplier is going to help us a lot. So we're going to use our woe essence on a white wand, and it'll give us a guaranteed spell damage roll, plus other stats. So we'll just use these for now. We're not using Frostblink right now. We can just vendor these old items. And we're going to get our other setup going. So we're going to take off our Holy Flame Totem. We might keep the added lightning. So we're going to go Cold Snap, Control Destruction, and Cruelty. So this is going to be like our main damaging skill. And we're going to take out our Rolling Magma setup. And since we got another Alteration Orb, we're going to pick up a Controlled Destruction. And we're just going to use that on our other skills, our other cold dot skills, which is going to be Creeping Frost and Wintertide Brand. So we got that setup going now. If we had an extra 3 link, then we could link something else, but we currently don't. And we can also use our skitter bots. That's like an minion aura, which is pretty nice. I'm not going to need any of these skill gems.
Return if you must.
And we picked up that trial. Next step is the bandits. So there's 3 different bandits. We have Creighton, Oak, and Elyria. So you can choose to kill all to get 2 extra passive skills, or you can help one of them to get something else. So we're just going to keep the flame wall here for now. And we also have a Wintertide brand. So the Wintertide brand is kind of cool. Kind of just sticks on enemies and then it does like cool damage over time effects. So we're coming to Creighton now. So we're actually going to be helping Elyria. So that'll give us extra mana regen and all resistance, which is nice. So if we actually help Creighton, he'll give us attack and cast speed, avoid elements, and movement speed, but we don't care about that, so we're just going to kill him here. Put our brand down, cold snap, and we can just throw out some creeping frosts. We're actually missing our exposure gem,
It's kind of disappointing.
which is
I usually like
Frost
this.
Bomb. So we're actually going to pick that up in Act 1. Should only cost the Wisdom Scroll, so it shouldn't be that bad. So we're looking for Frost Bomb, which is right here. We'll just throw that in instead of Flame Wall. We're not going to use Flame Wall anymore.
Farewell.
So Frost Bomb is going to be like the first thing we do on our bosses or enemies. So it's actually going to give the monsters cold exposure, which will allow us to do extra cold damage to them. And we want to try and use our cold snaps on enemies. So for our skitter bots, there's actually 2 of them, and they actually put a shock, and one of them does a chill on enemies. So they just run around, go next to the enemies, and they put shocks and chills on the enemies. And when we kill enemies with our cold snap, we actually get frenzy charges, which makes us have more movement speed, cast speed, and attack speed. So here's the waypoint. Gonna hit that, and we're just gonna open the tree for now. So that's gonna get rid of our quest items, the ones we got from Fidelitas and Weaver. So we're gonna make sure we have those before we come here. So exclamation mark there, that's gonna be Oak. He's a bit tough if you don't have damage, and he tends to regen a lot as well. But if you have Frost Bomb, it'll reduce the regen of the enemies. So if I use it on Oak, he's not going to regen that much. So we can go for kill. Put our Frost Bomb down. So he's not going to regen as much if he's affected by the Frost Bomb.
This land has no time for avaricious little despots like you.
So we're just going to log out here. We already have the waypoint, and we're going to head to Elyria. Elyria is in the Western Forest. So we'll head there. And just like how the Weaver was on the opposite side, So it would be on the right side towards Weaver. So if we go to the left side and follow this brick path, it will lead us to Elyria. So we just run to the left side.
The very land learns to heed my demands.
Should be somewhere over here. See, we see the stone path here. Follow that. And it should lead us right to Lira, which is right here. So we're actually going to help Lira here. We're going to get 5 mana regen per second, some global critical strike multiplier, and 15% all resistances.
That was all.
So she gives us the apex, so we're going to want to hold that. So you can just control left click to put that in your inventory. And we're going to continue on the left side. And we're going to kill the guards here. Kill the guard. He'll drop an item for us. The emblem. And we're just going to click on the seal. And this will give us an extra skill point in Act 1. So we'll pick that up from Vestal. Sell some of this stuff. We actually have pretty bad life flasks right now. So I'm actually going to get a bigger life flask from Ina in Act 2.
Yes.
So we have a greater life flask here. We'll just pick that up for now. And we have 2 skill points here. We're going to be going for Acrimony. So this will give us a lot more damage over time multiplier for our cold dot skills. So we're done with the bandits. We have our apex. So once we're done with the apex, we have to make sure we have that in our inventory before we can progress. If we decided to kill them all the bandits to get 2 extra skill points, we talk to Erimir here, and he will give us the apex after we kill all those bandits. So for the next area, we kind of want a ruby ring here. So we'll equip that because they do a lot of fire damage in this area. The Vol runes. So this area is pretty much like a maze. It's pretty tough to like know the layout of this zone. It's like all over the place. So just try and look for the open areas, open doors. So this one might be the top side. Just have to see. So you want to keep our cold snaps to keep our frenzy charges up.
When I'm ready and not
Just throw down some frost bombs, creeping frost. This guy has... I don't know what this guy has, but he's a bit tough. I think he has like steel charges or something. Gain random charges. So this monster is actually kind of tough. Got him. Got a rare wand. Could be an upgrade. Check this area. All dead ends, of course. Should be maybe down here. So you want to keep your map open so you can see more. Maybe this is a dead end. Look at dead end. So check down here. Lots of dead ends in this area. Want to be careful here. They shoot out a lot of explosive arrows. And if your fire resistance is not good, you might want to try and pick up a fire ring. Maybe it's up here. Should be up here. Level up our gems. Here it is here. So we just touch the ball. And continue. Northern Forest. This is a good leveling zone here. Usually pretty dense. So we're going to go up more damage over time multiplier. Try and kill the monsters along the way. Try and get your frenzy charges from Cold Snap. This area can be a troll as well. It's usually one way. You go up the riverside and it'll lead you to the cavern, but sometimes it'll drag you around. We're gonna get our frenzy charges, throw out some creeping frost, some frost bombs, and the wintertide brand. Keep leveling up our skitter bots. Whetstone is nice. Chromatic item. So it's a good idea to pick up chromatic items because they will definitely come in handy down the road. Rare items as well, so we can sell for alteration orbs. So here we go, the caverns. And we're coming up to the Act 2 final boss. Yeah, Act 2 is pretty much all over the place. They have lots of stuff to do, lots of side quests. It's probably one of the acts that has like a lots of stuff to do. If you forget to pick up a quest item, then you have to redo the quest. You'll lose a lot of time. Want to be careful in this area from the bear slams. They do a lot of damage, but try and go around them. Level up our gems. There's actually a movement speed craft here, so pretty good to have. Costs 3 augmentation orbs. And I already have 4 from all the items I've been selling, so if you don't have movement speed by this time, you can always craft it on a piece of white gear. So here we go, Ancient Pyramid. I think there's like 3 different levels here before we get to the final boss. So Cold Snap's pretty nice. You can like use it as at a distance. And the way Cold Snap works is it will actually have a cooldown if you like don't attack any mobs. Use it twice there. I guess it doesn't have a cooldown. Maybe like the effect. Has a cooldown, I'm not sure. So we keep going up all the stairs till we get to the final zone. Kind of a cool item. Yeah, I'll just use that. Free link, higher evasion, higher energy shields. Pretty much just an upgraded item. And I can use like an essence on it if I have. I can use an alchemy orb if I want. But we're getting up to the level where we kind of want to look for 4 links. I'm actually going to do a vendor run before I start the boss. And we also want to come down here to pick up the spell damage crafting recipe. So we're going to go back to town. We have some whetstones we can sell for ID scrolls. And we have some armor scraps. So we're good on ID scrolls. We can just ID everything. Get some alteration orbs. +1 fizz on a shield. We're not doing a physical spell, so that's kind of useless to us. If that was +1 cold, then that would have been pretty nice. Extra armor, spell damage, and cold damage to spells. That's kind of nice. Less spell damage, but higher flat. I think we're gonna go with the higher spell damage. So we're gonna start on this boss. Get some Giga Dam right now. So this should help out a lot. So we want to make sure we have our auras on for sure. Skitter bots and Herald of Thunder. So Herald of Thunder just gives us some extra added lightning spell damage. So we want to make sure we put our Frost Bomb down first, and then we use our other skills. Get some Frenzy Chargers from these mobs. Once the boss comes back up, we use our Frost Bomb. Then we use our other skills. Put the brand on him as well, so that'll continuously do damage to him. So the damage looks pretty good. So he does different types of attacks. He's doing Fire Slam right now, so you want to make sure you get it that way. He also does some lightning attacks, like here. So you just want to move in one direction when he's doing that. And he also does the Ice Ground as well. So there's the lightning attack. You want to make sure you keep moving. If you get hit twice and you don't have a lot of lightning resist, you're probably going to die. So you want to make sure you keep moving to avoid that attack. Make sure you try to avoid his slam when you're too close as well. There, we got him down. We're just going to log out here. Sell the items, and that is Act 2.
A pity.
If you enjoyed the video, please hit that follow button, and feel free to tune into my Twitch channel. Everything will be linked down below, and I'll even post the Act 1 run as well. Thank you so much.